TPing out, dive, Sigma, Winston, Cassidy, Tracer, Baptiste. They're running the Ashe because of the verticality and also because there's no threat of dive. So if you can get away with a greedy hero, you're getting away with a greedy hero. The Brigitte is there to deny Kevster and Lucio pressure while enabling Sugar-Free, Merit, RuPaul, etc. I like the angle set up there from Merit. I like the angle set up from someone. I actually like the setup from ENCE as well. The Bap in there. And Kai does Kai things. And you see the control the Sigma has on the backline. That's where Sigma excels versus dive. He is weak versus dive, but the one thing he does well is deny squishies. Deny the slow kids in the dive comp, right? There he struggles immensely versus like a Sombra, Kiriko, Lucio, Tracer kind of a dive, but as long as there's a backline, he can handle it. Unfortunately, they get the initial pick, but they're able to maintain the angles, Toronto Defiant, and are able to trade the backline. I'm actually trying to say, like, what actually happened here in the trades? Yeah, so they put Tracer on point, which meant that they were vulnerable. They get the staging here, and I think they're just a little bit, maybe too grouped. I think there's a little bit too much attention on someone here. So they do the ranked thing where everyone focuses the monkey, but that just gives up so much space to the rest of Toronto, and they're able to get the pick off of it. Who should be trying to shoot? It doesn't matter. You hold an off angle and you shoot whatever's available. That might mean poking out someone. It might be staging for a dive on backline, or it might be marking Sugar-Free. I don't think you purposefully go out of your way to do anything. I think you just do what comes to the angle that you're holding. So they go Malga because difficult to control backline with Sigma here. And what Malga does is it allows you to rotate, and you lose a lot of map control off. You lose a lot of control on backline, but in theory, if the Winston does dive, you can cardiac your backline and live it. So this is basically, again, trying to cheat map control and just pray that with cardiac you have enough HP to live. It's weird, but I would hate it unless I saw this past weekend. Now I'm not a hater. It can work. Yes, that should be the general gameplay with Tracer. See, this is where it's hard, right? Like, everyone's so far away, and Vestola is taking so much damage. And like, even that there, like, I don't know if I like the cardiac here, right? Like, I understand that he's low-ish, but like that, like someone is so happy with that trade. He is so happy with that trade. Even Bubble for cardiac is a pretty good trade. He keeps the position, he keeps his HP, he disengages immediately, and then he hits them on rotation. The problem here is, how does Merit die? Merit should be able to live this. I just don't think Merit gets the healing, or maybe there's a split and kite. I don't have the replay, so I can't look, but that should not have happened. That dive was way too far away. So Primal is going to be needed. There's the pulse, and they're just able to hit the rotation too hard. It's just too far of a rotation for the Malga. Cloudy called GG when he went Malga. I mean, yeah, it makes sense. It's not an encouraging swap. Now, I say that, and Kevster kills Sugar-Free. I don't know how. Backline gets a little bit too cheeky considering they're up one, and then they get beat engaged. So a little bit of a undiscipline there from Toronto. Kai's job is the same as anything else. Is like the thing is like, there's not really any hero in here besides, like, I guess maybe Malga versus Winston that's like a clear target priority. Like, you just shoot what's available. Like, Masa can deny Sugar-Free. Masa can also deny someone. Masa might even mid-fight to be able to speed onto backline here, right? And the same thing goes with Kai. Like, Kai could shoot. Cassidy, or Ashe, excuse me, Tracer, Winston can trade backlines. Like, there's so many things. It's more about, like, playing the positions that make the most sense for you, right? Which is generally going to be, like, more of an open sightline that isn't in front of the Ashe. Crazy. Yeah, what ends up happening is a lot of these mid-fights, like, Kevster's just winning these devolve fights. Someone's gonna switch off the Winston, though, after using that Primal Rage. Switching over to the Doomfist. Dynamite. Doomfist is used. Doomfist is basically a Malga swap and a Baptiste swap. Doomfist feels good versus those characters. Better than Winston. Not a great matchup, but it's okay. So there's Bob on point. Kind of an odd engage here. I think with the Bob here, it really makes sense for someone to be staging here and then looking for an off-angle pressure from here. So kind of a goofy thing, because this allows ENCE to kind of just like BAP window and shoot like everybody. So Bob might just melt here. And also, look at Kai. Kai keeps his wits about him, and he doesn't just shoot through window. He marks the angle. This is such a clutch play from Kai. Such a clutch play from Kai. So Vestola gets murked, and they do lose a lot of space. Oh no, Vestola lost his cage fight. Oh no, I didn't see that. He lost his cage fight, guys. He lost his cage fight. Because I'm looking at this and I'm like, you're pretty pleased with this. You killed the Ana, you forced the rally, you forced the Bob. It's 2 really powerful ultimates from Toronto. Vestola overextends just a little bit, gets bashed. So Vestola kind of feeds here. And he lost cage fight. Oh, that is huge. That goes from being a really reasonable fight for ENCE. Even if you lose this, because you could retake with cage fight, just force point with cage fight, and then you actually just fumble the bag there. So Vestola gives up. Vestola goes back Sigma.
Really doesn't, and that's why Vestola is actually going to go over to the Sigma now. The Sigma a little
so again, rotate open space, see what you can find.
We also saw Vestola get no value from that cage, even just in that last fight. Vestola very well known for
marking the rotations, dynamite the rotations, recall forced by the Kevster off angle. I mean, it's little things like that, bro. Like, little things like that is so big from Kevster, right? He takes the angle late, pokes out Sugar Free, forces the recall because Sugar Free doesn't know he's there. So then Sugar Free has to rotate from here all the way to over here. So now Kevster has a free lane to go for backline pulse. I don't know if he hits it, but it's actually like such a good play. Yeah, so now that's forced space. That's allowed them to rotate to port. Vestola does use his shift. They high noon from the flank. Okay, I'm gonna say something. I think the ENCE setup here is like pretty darn good. I gotta give credit where credit is due. This is good setup. This is good setup from ENCE. There's the beat mid-fight. They take the high. They flip the point. They force the do molt. Kai should be able to live. Ghost probably needed to rotate here cleaner. So I want to see Ghost rotate all the way to this back high here. I don't know where he goes. Yeah, see, Ghost is dropping here to pocket Kai, but really he needs to be staying on high and pocketing here. He walks in for no reason. He's got a little bit of that plat magnet in him. It's like the match nerves, right? And he ends up dying for it. So that's a huge mistake from Ghost. That also kills Kai. This fight is so winnable. I think Ghost trolls that map. Yeah, and that's it right there. So good showing from Toronto there for the most part. I think obviously Merit dying first. A couple of goofy deaths from Merit and RuPaul that just felt really unearned. But yeah, okay. Let's keep going here. Double flex support. Again, I like it. There's so much space here, and you know this team's limitations. You know that they cannot run a dive tank here. They don't have the hero pool for it. So you can go full greed mode here. You can go absolutely full greed mode. And they're even running Merit on the soldier so that you have like basically 3 flankers now. Yeah, Ghost is new to the tier 1 Overwatch, yes. So they're going to try to rotate on Zen. Vega does a really good job managing his distance. He probably should have rotated into the right more. So if Ghost had rotated into the right, like here's the thing. If this team wants to rotate on top of you as Zen, they're going to get to you. They can. The question is how painful is it? And if he rotates sooner and hits maybe even one more shot, then this hurts more. That being said, this is going to hurt. This is going to hurt for ENCE. And it does. And that's why. Like you get the kill, but you give up the entire map and you just get smashed from 4 different angles.
Get those big picks. And this is one of the only points we can really see Wrecking Ball work.
And steals the flip, though. Sugar Free marking Tracer, looking for Tracer. And this is what Sigma's so good at. He just sits there. He just sits there. There's the angle from Zen. I like this setup. So we got Zen Tracer. You got Ball. You got Soldier. Probably Soldier looking to mark here and or poke point, and then on it. The setup is okay from Toronto. And Kevster really doing a good job. And then look at the Sigma. So Sigma actually abandons point, slides, does the cha-cha, and actually starts to push out from here. This is good response from ENCE. ENCE does not just turtle. They don't just turtle.
Pick up. He finds exceptional.
The problem here is that you still have your BAP ball tracer isolated, and Sugar Free and someone are on backline.
Haven't been able to find the flip yet. They're able to get some.
And Kai gets
progress
isolated.
here. Maybe a pick onto Kai will help to open things up a little bit more, but the wrecking ball doesn't really have.
That's the Zenyatta needed to die there. I think Vestola missed the rock, but that was good.
So ENCE's had control of this point the whole time.
I mean, this is what this comp does too. Look at how much pressure they're putting on Master and Ghost in the back line.
Yeah, I mean, that's by far the strength of ENCE is turtling on point. And then trying to push out offense. Like, it is clear to me that ENCE knows what they have to do to win this matchup and the previous map. The question is, can they do what they need to do? Can they do it? They know what to do, but can they do it?
You can kind of throw your body at.
Why Soldier here? It's an extra flanker. We talked about at the start of the map. Extra flanker. Wide open map. More flanks. Okay, this kills Toronto.
Throw your body at.
This kills Toronto. You cannot do this. You absolutely cannot do this. There is no sight lines from anybody in this section of the map. You have to mine's point or mine the rotation a point to force an awkward split. This is a terribly timed mines.
With them getting rocks.
Terribly timed mines.
A little bit of damage, yeah, like you said, but
And so all this punish, all these resources, all this attention, all the cooldowns, and it's actually someone who's disengaging here. And so now this allows ENCE to really just to rotate the point for free and to rotate on the backline for free. So now, like, look. Because of that mines, ENCE is able to get 3 people and 1 stack and then beat on top of them.
Rock does get RuPaul, but that. I mean, there's nothing stopping Kai getting away with.
The mines should have been there. If they mines there, different story.
Sorry, that's just the rail.
If they mines in that rotate there, Toronto is dead in the water.
Eventually, gonna get taken down here. They get hurt a little bit. A few extra percentage points eked out.
So Toronto fumbles the bag there immensely. And really, honestly, here,
Toronto Defiant.
no, I don't think you trans this. I don't think you trans
Knows
this.
they can kind of come
You were
back.
down 2. If you'd been down 1, I might have trans there.
With this flux.
Okay, so this is how. Have you guys seen any of my Zen coaching sessions?
The transcendence.
Merritt goes Cassidy, I think, because the Tracer's giving them issues, and I don't know. He's just good in Soldier or Cassidy. So if you the way to use Transcendence in Overwatch 2 most of the time is to take like the greediest angle that you can and then just trance yourself.
Push there.
And I don't think Vega does that here.
Invested space because you just had the power of that sound.
Maybe he
barrier
does.
like
Okay,
the sails. But now you got the transcendence.
So there's the split here. Ball staging. I don't know where Sugar Free is. There's the nade. Hits the nade. Ball stager on behind. They have the angle. Ghost takes or Vega takes the angle here, and then I think works with Sugar Free and kills backline. So Ghost just dies again. I think Ghost gets clipped. I actually think Ghost doesn't even use any of his cooldowns.
Just a little bit more defensively if they want.
Yeah, he doesn't use any of his cooldowns. He gets 5 orbed or 4 orbed.
to. Big pick.
Good angle. Good angle there from Vega.
Vega able to get the better of Ghost.
Got aggressive Vegas playing too. Here comes the flux. Where's it gone?
So it's the hubris that Vega has because he has trance that allows him to win this fight.
Basically throw that one in.
Nice job.
Absolute no fight. Toronto Defiant minefield out from someone. This is so dangerous too. Take a look at where someone's coming from. Knocks somebody
Huge.
out of this room. Take a look at where someone's coming from. Knock somebody out of this room.
Yeah, this is a weird setup from Toronto. Because it looks like they want to push in. So they nano the Cassidy, but then Ball falls back. Ana falls back. And I don't even know if the Tracer's there. So the nano Cassidy gets like no damage at all. Because look at the Cassidy on the flank here, right? He doesn't get anything. He gets a lamp, but then just gets poked out. And I do not know where anybody is. I think Tracer, Sugar Free's on point. But see, the plan, if you have a plan of nanoing Cassidy in, you let them flip point. You let them flip point. Because if you have Ball Tracer here, this nano Cassidy kills everybody. So again, it's like they don't really know what they're playing for. Their setups are bad. Like the nano Cassidy idea is not bad. The execution from the rest of the team is bad.
3 people looking at him, not through the window, but enough damage to send him packing. Here comes the ult though from Kai, ripping the overclock. Merritt didn't stand a chance.
Good trade.
That nade, but
Mines are good on point. And Vega just doesn't use trance.
Merritt didn't stand a chance.
Let's watch his HP. Where is Vega?
That's a nice trade coming through. Someone just
I don't know where. He just doesn't use trance.
that mag nade did
Do you think it's better to Flux to use early to use or later in the team fight? I think Flux is a fine early fight ult because it's not as hard to set up. But every ult benefits from mid fight. Every ult benefits from mid fight. It's just sometimes it's like which ult is the least valuable to us. Okay, so surely Vega trances, guys. Surely Vega trances. Take the angle, a little bit of ego. Do what you did in the first fight, right? A little messy there from Sugar Free. Would have preferred to deepen with this Zenyatta. They get the touch at 98. Zen on the angle. Pulse bomb. Trance is used, but the problem is I think Vega uses the... I think he just panics the trance. He uses it a little early. He takes a little bit of damage there, but I think he could have egoed that trance a little bit longer. I don't think it would have mattered, though. It's just a good pulse bomb. Kev really picks that one up. Yeah, Bad Minds should have used trance the fight before. The Nano Cassidy synchronization was like really bad. And then honestly, Merritt was really quiet that match because I don't know. I would have to look at Merritt's positioning on Soldier, but there's a chance that he just didn't play all that well. So yeah. Okay, and this is what you really don't want for Toronto. So I talked with Cass, and I was like, did you guys like pick Busan? Like this map is like has more open sightlines versus dive, and apparently they did. I think they should have gone Ilios. I think Cass said that in hindsight, obviously, as well. But they had a set strat here. Like the ball double flux support is something that ENCE doesn't really have an answer for. So I think it is a little hindsight to say that it was a bad decision. But this is really what you don't want. You really don't want to be going into a pretty brawly, shorter range-ish map, or even like just something basically where dive heroes aren't as viable. Because yeah, you know, you can put someone on whatever, but like this is. I don't think Toronto is good enough to win this. Like their Malga isn't good enough to beat the Sigma, right? Remember when we saw the Sigma Rhine counter Malga comps from SSG and ENCE earlier? It was a skill check of how good is the Malga comp versus those teams. And Toronto is not Crazy Raccoon. Toronto is certainly not Team Falcons. And so this gets messy.
Switching over to the Malga. You got the Cassidy and the Genji to be able to beef that up too, as ENCE try to stick to their tried and true.
Now this was good. Because say what you will about the execution, they do get this on top of Kev. And in fact, Kev gets landed on. And Masa also gets picked. So say what you will, the first fight's looking pretty promising in terms of execution from Toronto.
Yeah, overdrive on top of just the insta-kill pressure of Merritt and Sugar Free.
Long rotation. Oh, here we go again. Odd deflect there from Kev. I don't like that deflect at all. Maybe deflect post slam. And again, Toronto is able to close the distance here.
Clean up all of those picks.
Oh, here we go again.
Already into the thick of things.
Did you guys notice that? Look at what Vestola. So I don't know where accretion was used. Maybe he missed accretion. I don't know. But look at that. He's actually eating the Malga bullets. Hydrate, thank you. So ENCE is almost successful at kiting it, but not quite. So, decent start from Toronto. Doesn't seem like a lot of punish from Vestola, Kev, or Kai. Forcing point with Genji. Deflect is needed. He's low. There's the commit slam. Bam. There's the high noon. Bam. The problem is that it's a little far. So someone, despite having cardiac, is basically by himself with a little Lucio, and he's used his run. And so someone gets murked. So this is a great catch from ENCE. And honestly, not a good play. Yo, what's up, Frog Skater? It's going well, mate. I don't like the fight plane here in the Sigma. I don't like the fight plane here. I think you shoot point, you force point, you find a way more mid-fight recommit with your cardiac run-in, but this is hubris. There's just not enough pressure there. So they catch the aggression there because they're a little bit further away. Fake rotation. Can they Kitsune out top? Very close from Rootball there. Weird Suzu. That was odd. This is very odd from Rootball. Very clunky. For example, like right here, he should just die. And then also here, I don't understand the Suzu timing there. Even if he was going to use Kitsune, it's very odd. There's the Suzu. Can ENCE kite it? They can. So let's talk about this. One of my critiques of Crazy Raccoon, Suzu to cross, but there's no burst damage there. They'd already disengaged. Nobody was critical. One of my critiques of Crazy Raccoon was how many times that they used, they got their High Noon canceled because of the slam. So they use High Noon. I don't know if it's either Suzu'd by, or I guess there is no Suzu. Someone just misses the slam. Someone just misses the slam. You have to slam the High Noon if you're playing Malga versus this. You have to cancel it. Otherwise, you're in serious trouble. So they're going to shift the Cassidy. They're going to beat for beat. Kevster's going to blade on top. It's a little early. They're going to miss Flux because Malga has overrun. But despite that, the blade on top of the Cassidy, the layering from ENCE is just better. Wait. Oh no, and they use Cage Fight! Someone!
The sound barrier comes through from Blind to try and make sure they survive this oncoming onslaught of damage.
Oh no, this is the second Cage Fight we've seen between the two teams get cancelled or used at too low in HP. So Toronto really fumbles the bag here. Someone misses the slam, wastes the Cage Fight. So, bad fight from someone.
Kevster's pulled out the blade though, and it's easy pickings for the Genji.
Because you got to look at this fight and be like, all right, it's not the end of the world. They use beat, flux. They actually miss flux, right? Vestola missed flux. They use High Noon. They use blade. It's okay. Like we use 2 support ult. It's not the end of the world. We can come back with our Cage Fight blade and just auto win. But now
For ENCE is Toronto defying a team kill.
now, and so someone actually swaps. It's a good swap, right? It's the right, like Ram's fine versus this, right? But like, ouch.
Now we're sealing, but this is also to help
K-Jax? True, actually. Off angle Genji. I think this is poorly executed. I remember watching this in the match. I remember this match faintly, right? There were so many games we watched at Avril, but like, I don't love this. This is a reach. This is a reach. He's really by himself. Like, they are really trying to tempo here. They're trying to force the tempo, when in reality, all they could do is just keep speed chasing and blade like here. There's no rush here. Super Noodle, thank you for the sub. They are so far. So I actually don't even know what kills. Like, who dies here? Freaking Vega. Watch Ghost's HP. Vega just deletes Ghost before he even uses Lamp or Shift, I think. So that's a huge mechanical play from Toronto, but man, is this play poorly set up. And they get traded because they're so willing to rush, because Kev is still in the back line here. Kev is still off-angling here. Kev is still back there. He's still there. He's still there. So actually, Kev holds the angle, and Kev reads this perfectly, because they know that they don't have any ults, and they have blades. So Kev's like, hey, like, I'm going to flank this here. They're going to try to force the blade, and I'm just going to tail them. I'm just going to trail them and kill them as they rotate. And that's exactly what happens. Again, I think what we're seeing here, frankly, is like, I just feel like ENCE's setups and execution has been slightly better. Even going back to the first round, which is the one they lost, it felt like they at least had an idea of what they were trying to do. Maybe not better than Toronto, but like competitive with Toronto, which shouldn't happen. Right, they skipped Kev, right? Kev is setting up a lot. It's not just, oh, Kev mechanically. Like, Kev is really smart in this fight. Like, this is what carries this fight. Like, the setups here, the rush, the forcing the tempo from Toronto really bites them in the cheeks here. So, I guess they still lose? But I mean, like, they're even going to disengage this, right? Like, this is all snowballing from that one mistake. It's a good game sense decision. BAP window with a little bit of distance here? Yeah, they just BAP window top, I think. Oh, now they're going to rotate at them. So they're going to BAP window after them because I think they might have seen Nemesis firm and they have a BAP window advantage. So they're actually going to go right in their face. And again, I think it's Kevster coming back from spawn. Somebody came back from spawn. Kev is on point. They need to be cautious of Nemesis form. They need to be cautious. They need to be cautious. They flip the point. And now they're saying play slow for BAP window, play slow for BAP window, then touch point with BAP window, or push them up top with BAP window. Vega's low, does not have beat. He's there in time. Okay, they're good. Beats used. And this is where Vestola should just die. And they get split. They get split, and then where the frick is Sugar Free? Sugar Free doesn't get beat. So Sugar Free's on point. And Vega does not give Sugar Free beat. So Sugar Free commits, expecting beat, doesn't get beat, gets peeled off and dies. Then Kai catches the push with Lamp High Noon. And then Kevster still on the back line, by the way. Blades. That's unreal, man. It's not even Lenny's fault, bro. It's not even Lenny's fault. That's Vega's fault. That's Vega's fault. They rushed the beat. They rushed the beat. Go back and watch it again. Right? Maybe they didn't rush the beat, but like he's got to be able to peak that, right? I don't. Maybe it is partially like Lenny's responsibility, but there's no way Lenny could get beat from there, right? Without like a better patience. Like that was just really, really well played by ENCE. They caught things well. Ghost dies a couple of times unnecessarily. Like that was definitely like a goof ups on him. But obviously BAP is like really, really hard to play in these situations. And it's just like the best thing that I could say for ENCE is that ENCE was just competitive in their strategy, and they got a little lucky. Like when you're playing versus a team of Toronto Defiant's caliber, if your strategy is as good or maybe even a little bit better in terms of your setups, your fight plans, and you're not wasting as many ultimates, cage fight, right? Almost hit balls, mines, trance, right? Forcing a blade too deep and then getting traded on your backline. Like if you could have the advantage in that, like you might just win the match. You might just win the match because if you're playing on Busan, this isn't like, oh, you're forced into a dive mirror. You know what I'm saying? Stuff adds up. All right, I'm gonna grab some food, y'all. Be right back. 1 second. Okay, never mind. I lied. We're gonna do another map. We're gonna do another map. So, was it Vega not trusting RuPaul to heal up in time with the MO when he heals? I mean, I don't know. There's like a million things here. Like, it's really hard to like point fingers exactly what went wrong. I think like. Even like when they use the Nano Cassidy, for example, like it's really hard to know like whose fault that is. Is that someone's fault? Is that like who fight plans there? Because like the idea is that like you can't mark point and hard push at the same time. Because you need somebody to mark point, or you need that somebody to push in. Because they could have just like played it slow, or they could have pushed in with the tracer and let them have flip. They did neither, and so that failed. So it's like, who do you blame there? I have no idea. I have no idea who's at fault. I don't have like the insight, the communication. I think we can definitely point fingers here and there. You know, like Ghost had a couple of unnecessary dads. I definitely felt like at times, like someone's ults, like the mines and cage, I'm gonna blame someone for that one for sure. Failing to slam the Cassidy, you know, the high noon is like pretty obvious. But how do you think the new M80 roster? What's the new M80 roster? What's the new M80 roster? But yeah, I mean, well played by ENCE. I think Toronto is definitely beefing some stuff, but I think ENCE is playing better than I expected. This isn't like, oh, Toronto's just like trolling the lobby 24/7. Like ENCE is also like kind of forcing errors, and or they're definitely like there to punish the errors there. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not like, oh, we're just like happen to luck into it. Like they're forcing errors here. So I think ENCE has to feel relatively good about it. Tree Spectra Kaluge, I mean, I think that's an upgrade. I think Hawk, it just looks like he doesn't want to be here anymore. I don't know how Kaluge is doing nowadays. Tree historically has been budget Kevster, at least at the time. Like, to call him budget Kevster is kind of an insult, but like, we just haven't seen him tested as much as Kevster, right? So at least in the day, like back in the day, like he was like the hottest NA prospect. So I think he's good. Is he going to be still as good as he ever was? I don't know. I haven't seen him play recently. And then Spectre, I think, historically was also good. So I don't know. Frankly, I don't know. Could be a slight downgrade in terms of the like versus Happy Pelican in terms of like raw mechanics maybe. But like you have now an actual Western player and a Korean player with a lot of experience with Western teams and who's also really quite good. And then if Imedi looks better, it's not going to be through like just like raw mechanics. It's just going to be like the team cohesion's like so much better. Like they're actually like communicating and listening and stuff like that, or like want to be there. So yeah, I think that like it's like maybe a slight mechanical downgrade, but like maybe, right? I'm not even sure of that. And like I think that like with like the background of those players, like probably is an upgrade. Probably an upgrade. Probably an upgrade. I think the only X factor for me is Kaluj. Like I don't know how motivated Hawk was this season. And Kaluj has kind of like had a little bit of a hit or miss last year or two. So we'll see. Drink water, thank you. I'm doing all right. All right, so, I mean, this isn't really a surprise, guys. You're going to pull Insta to dive. You're going to force Ghost to play BAP into Winston. I mean, this is not deep. Like, we will look at this map, but this is going to be pretty one-sided. Because it's just like, these guys just don't have the hero pools to play dive. This map is super, super, super verticality. Everyone on Toronto's on a relatively solid hero. I think the only thing that's worth pointing out is that Merit is on Cassidy. Because if you're able to play the high grounds here, you're able to keep the sightlines relatively short. The Cassidy only really feels bad if you were to play like into a Widowmaker. And even then, you could probably avoid the Widow sightlines and still do decent damage. So, yeah. Yeah, I don't know about Chase. So they're going to run Echo here. This is frankly, like, it's really not that deep. Basically, this is them rolling the dice. They don't want to run hit scan because they don't have BAP. BAP is what keeps Kai and Cassidy alive. If you go off of Kiriko, well then now, go Kiriko, your Kiriko wants to take angles and do things like that, and she can't babysit the Cassidy, which means that you nano Winston, and he just destroys Kai, right? So you're like, okay, well this sucks. So let's go like something where there's not really any clear dive target. And so let's do Echo Tracer. I don't know what else you could run if you were trying this strategy. Kai literally cannot play any dive character besides Tracer. And yes, his Tracer is kind of cheeks, but it's at least his best cheeks. Like it's the best cheek he has, okay? So yeah, it's Kai Tracer, but at least you have like something that like there's no real immediately diveable characters. Echo is like a pretty good dive character here as well because there's a lot of high ground. We've seen a lot of like Korean teams play Echo. So like, I'm not gonna lie with you guys. This is not good from ENCE, but it might be the like you got to roll the dice, guys. You got to roll the dice. Like you're not gonna roll out here and play like, all right, let's play, you know, BAP, Cassidy. Like no, they couldn't beat freaking. They almost lost to freaking SOG, or did they lose to SOG? I don't know. Playing versus their dive, like it's not gonna happen. So the best thing you could hope for is just like, hey, let's roll the dice and just see what happens. Would Tracer Widow be bad? It's not a bad idea. It just would be bad versus again, you would need like a little bit more babysitting on your Widow. You'd want to run like Ana Brig if you're going to do that. But these guys can't play Ana Brig because Widow would at least want an armor pack every now and then, right? So yeah, they lost shape to SOG. I mean, you're cooked, right? Like you got to at least try something, right? At least this makes a lot more sense than whatever the frick Falcons pulled out here, the Malga crap. This, at least there's some logic behind it. You can have push cart safely with Tracer or Diva. You can contest high ground. You have something of an ult game. I mean, Diva Bomb sucks, but at least you have Kitsune, you have Beat. You do have Copy, which is pretty good here. So basically the plan here is probably to force cart with Diva Tracer as much as you possibly can. Try to avoid getting poked out by Ana. Try to avoid getting poked out by Cassidy. And during certain windows, look for opportunities to push high ground. Kev can help pressure high. Sounds like studying a wall. Oh, I believe it. Yeah, I believe it. I've heard the same thing about the medical field as well. I don't know what happens here, frankly. I think Kiri Lucio tried to take top, and I think they just beef it. I have no idea what happened there. We're going to keep... Like I said, I'm not going to overanalyze this one. I don't feel like there's a lot to learn here. I think ENCE is on heroes and comps that they're not perfectly comfortable with, clearly, at least 2 out of the 5. And they're playing onto a bad map. They're trying to roll the dice. Yeah. Contesting high ground, contesting high ground. Like, it's even hard to push card here because you just take so much damage. Yo, sorry, Apolify. I had to eat, bro. It looks like they go for a high ground dive, but Kev is low and doesn't build ult. Then Kai gets hindered from like a million miles away and then dies. We're still going.
Get back out of spawn a little bit faster. Sub 2 minutes now for ENCE to try.
Like here, you don't even necessarily need to nano your monkey. I mean, you can to force like Suzu and stuff, but you could like drop your monkey and then nano him afterwards, because there's actually just no, you don't even need bubble if you have nano. Rally, they force the high ground though. Actually pretty good. So ENCE is like just ult dumps. They just throw everything at the high ground. Sleep dart, copy, beat, Kitsune, pulse bomb. Kai doesn't hit the pulse bomb because it is Kai. Nano, they kind of need more than that though, because nano, primal, pulse, high noon, that's okay. But man, you have a nano to worry about now. You're clutch for that? Thanks, man. I think honestly here you just play high ground, play slow. Yeah, see, this is the problem with this comp. Kai dies again. There's just no punish on the monkey at all. Like, yeah, you're like, monkey doesn't kill as much, but there's just literally zero punish. Rotate top. Nice. I mean, again, I really do think what ENCE is trying to do is really cute. Like, look at this. They go top, and then D.Va comes from underneath the contest top while they rotate top. Like, I really like the creativity here from Vestola, and a lot of these like little split rotations are pretty cute. And then Kai takes the top with the D.Va now that they've stuffed him out of the choke. They also force a peel bubble. That's pretty good. I mean, it's a good play. He needed sleep there, and he needed to eat sleep there, and then honestly he needed to have some sort of Suzu there, because I actually don't even hate the play there from Vestola. It's silly. It's an aggressive play, but it was almost executed really well. It's just, you know, you just need more than one player doing something, especially when you're playing into a map that's not great for you. And this is ENCE trying again something different. Hey, let's try and stall point here, right? Oof. That nade is huge. I love the Ashe swap here. I love the Kiriko swap. You can go as greedy as you want here because they're all playing short range characters, so just get every single poke character that you can. That nade is insane. Let's go back and fight on point strategy. Again, this time they go D.Va to try and contest the off angles. Where's the lamp? Oh, the lamp is wasted on the nade. I just don't think they knew he was there. Yeah, that's such a great play from RuPaul, honestly. And they're going to try and take an early fight here so that touching is miserable because they don't even have Tracer to touch. And yeah, that's it. Okay, so chat, our Gibraltars have been cursed. the last two Gibraltars we've looked at. Cursed Gibraltars. No, he would not be better on Brigitte. No, you have nothing. No. Like, because the whole point of the comp is kind of like force point and then rotate it around quickly and to have nobody that you have to wait on. And then going Brig would just mean you have to babysitter. Yeah, I wish they did more listening to. How many did they do? I feel like they only did a handful of them.
You can do that. Just run at it. That's why we're gonna see ENCE actually switch off of the Sigma that Vestola is so well. Just run at it. That's why we're gonna.
I think they might have been expecting Malga with this comp. Maybe.
Actually switch off of the Sigma that
I don't know why they go Ram. I'm not sure. But yeah, it's more of like a poke hybrid comp. Brigitte, pocket the Ashe. Tracer because they're running Bap Ashe. Just take an angle through the left side, maybe with Masa. Brawl versus poke kind of a stuff here, right? It's going to come down to execution, really. Probably not, Moose Man. There's just so many matches to look at here. So they're going to rotate through train car. They're going to try to poke out. Okay. I remember this. Okay. This was Cheeks. This is Cheeks, okay? Do you guys see the problem here? Look carefully. Something is desperately wrong in terms of Toronto's setup. The whole reason why train card is hard is that you can do a speed rotation here, but what ends up happening is that they could just back up a little bit, open up their sight lane a lot, someone rails them in the cheeks, and they also get shot from behind here. When they all stack here, it's because they're trying to create distance from the Ram Lucio comp, but they shouldn't be scared. They shouldn't be scared. Because now you have literally everybody and one giant stack here, which allows ENCE to just do this rotation for free. This is really stupid. Like, I'm not going to sugarcoat this. This is really stupid. I'm not sure why this mistake was made. I don't know if there was like a little bit too much hesitancy versus the Lucio stuff, but this is like fight losing crap right here. Oh, yes. Thank you, Phoenix. Thank you, Phoenix. Yeah, this is brain dead. This is really, really bad. Really bad. This angle from Ashe isn't near good enough. They need to be shot in the back here. I don't... Like, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at how close. Look at ENCE's health pools. Look at them. Oh, they're all full. Everyone from Toronto is literally shoved into the locker, bro. This is terrible.
That's a good first kill for ENCE. Pushing in, pushing onto someone.
Yeah, and they insta lose.
Clocking him. Now the mega health pack room is where Toronto Defiant will scurry.
I mean, we don't even need to look. It's over. Unbelievable error. Unbelievable error there. So they go Malgo because Ram. You could just literally farm the Ram for free.
Not a bad way to be able to try to pressure Toronto off of this high ground, or even just help boost up some of this damage here from Kai. Annihilation on the board. Yeah,
Vestola literally dropped his shield and just blocked everything. Like, just blocked everything. Vestola literally did... My brother did this and just blocked everything. That's actually so unreal, man.
Honestly, ENCE is going to have everything to throw out this next fight.
Yeah, it literally looks like it's like the Black Ops Keener to Toten. You know, wall up the windows, you know what I'm saying? Or board up the windows, bro. I was like, what is going on?
Yeah, just waiting for that.
Kev doing a fit check live on cam. Tracer marking the angle. Tracer gets the rotation through right side. Moss and you can kind of see the nice little setup they got going here. It's like 1, 2. Moss kind of by himself here. They're just basically trying to create a distraction so that they could keep pushing cart, keep pushing cart, keep pushing cart, keep pushing cart. And then at some point rotate up on top, but they really don't want to rotate on top just yet. You want to try and get a little more cart push. You could easily Kev starts to steal the robot and then actually put the Ram here, which I really like. I think this is good.
Still building towards that annihilation, 5% away. Quite easy to get damaged in though. Against the Malga. No shield there, so.
Look at that. RuPaul 2 actually has the amplification matrix to answer to Ghost.
So Tracer pushes cart a little bit more. Yeah, and so now you've actually had a point in time where they've got the cart to here. So now you can actually like look for a 3-2-1 push here. What I would like to see is Vestola. Oh, I remember this. He does this. Yes. Okay, so Vestola needs to go 3-2-1 Ram push, and then we need backline to end at the same time. You could honestly, yeah, we'll just play it out.
Already going to be underneath this.
You guys see the juice? This is really good. This is really good.
Tunnel, as we now see everything get let loose.
Yeah, there's the annihilation. Unfortunately, Kevster forced to recall, but he's having his own little 1v1.
Get let loose.
Yeah, there's the annihilation. Unfortunately, Kevster forced to recall, but he's having his own little 1v1.
It's literally just the beat comes too late. That's it. The beat comes too late, and or Vestola kind of overextends.
Yeah, there's the annihilation. Unfortunately, Kevster forced to recall, but he's having his own little 1v1.
So it's a bad beat. Really, really, really bad beat.
Going down the sound barrier for Barca, not quite saving.
Should he have dropped?
Unfortunately, Kevster forced to recall, but
no, honestly, because like I understand why he dropped, because he's like, I'm gonna die. I don't want to be on this character anyway. Into Ram, you know, I popped my annihilation. We popped our window, but I do think that this was a mistake. Yeah.
But he's having his own little 1v1 in the tunnels. But it's Vestola that ends up going down the sound.
Why shield if you're just ulting? Because it allows you to prevent you from taking damage when you close the distance. Maybe the shield could have been deeper though.
Kevster, like I said, wasn't really going the team fight.
It's gonna be tough now for Toronto.
So Sigma swap
to actually get taken off of this high
because of the Malga, because things are a little bit more open.
One of the advantages of having the Brigitte, not necessarily Lucio, is that you can actually take these brawls a little bit better, knowing that you have that extra rally health.
Sojourn ult for top. They rally. They bap window. They actually could just straight up disengage this. Ah, boy. Yo, Yoshiki Gaming, thank you for the raid, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Hands up, this is a strawberry. That's great. That's great. Wait, I got something that reminds me of. Wait, so we went to the when we were in Dallas, we went to like the freaking Dallas Science Museum, and there was some like really dumb predator versus prey game they had where you could like pick different. You have sharp teeth or wings or shield, and dude, the characters that you could create were those stupid looking things I've ever seen in my life. Look at this thing. This is if being British like was an animal. What is that? It's some awful like what? Why does it have a skunk tail? Yeah. So anyway, that I see the animals and I'm like, oh wait, get a little PTSD from that museum visit. Okay. Anyway, so basically this plan here was just to kind of push top with Sojournal, and I assumed to try and bait ults, and they got what they wanted. Maybe again, it feels like Vestola just gets split. Like he kites basically into a room by himself. Like this keeps happening. It feels like maybe ENCE isn't ready for the response, so they end up losing. It's not a bad loss because he did force 1, 2, 3 ults for 1, which is fine. But yeah.
Kevster's on 1 HP. Someone please heal him.
Hey, buddy.
Able to get back to the team. Gives over a little bit more.
Lightweight.
As well as
Ronnie Coleman.
Now, making another rotation. Vestola over to the Sigma. They're using that annihilation and not getting.
And they also got cart steal as well, so they got a little bit of cart progress as well. So poke top, poke top. Someone needs to not take damage. Someone is not taking damage. Good patience there. Kev gets shot. Kev's in trouble. Kev is in trouble here. There's the commit. They don't end up getting anything but the Sigma. And see, this is kind of what I'm talking about, right? Like I want to know. I want to know what someone saw. I don't know what someone saw. I don't know if he went for the BAP and just went too early, because this slam needs to hit Baptiste, but he just doesn't get it. Like he just misses the slam. He's kind of isolated here. He loses a lot of HP. ENCE pretty easily kites it. The Cardiac is forced early, then the pulse happens, and obviously it's going to force Lamp. Everyone's low. Cage fight's used. And yeah, they don't have shield, but like Vestola hits the rock, and then they beat on top of that, and Masa builds like, it has to be the world's fastest beat. What is this beat? Look at this guy's beat ult charge. Oh, maybe it's not the world's fastest beat. The last 2 fights have been crazy. So again, it's just like not the cleanest execution from Toronto in this stuff, right? And Kev is really distracting. He's pulling 2 resources, and now he's Ajaxing. Now he's C9ing. What's the other term? Yeah, ENCE just catches the push. It's very similar to what happened on Mecha Base, you know? So Kev's gonna go Genji because Genji's really good this first half of first point because there's a lot of verticality, right? Sojourner very open as well, so they can play it on the high grounds a lot. Feeding, no, it's just not smooth, you know? It's like you need for this Malga stuff to work, like your timing is on that engage need to be like really good. I actually think this might be a bit of a hot take, but I think the skill floor for the Malga comps is like a little higher than it is for the Sigma comps, especially with the team, the way how much the teams have been practicing these things. Like this is really truly like you need to hit your slam. You need your team to be synchronized on your timing, otherwise you just die. No, I agree with you, or George, whatever. I don't know if I butchered your name, but like I agree. I think the Malga comps were only redeemable by the DPS that were being played in the Malga comps, and even then it wasn't very interesting. So they're gonna go Sigma on third because way more open space. Very hard to get the proximity that you need for like the all-in push. And this is just beautiful. This is so good from ENCE. Like it is, they are gonna use 2 ults, right? So that is true. However, if you are gonna use 2 ults, this is how you do it. You BAP window, you force shift. They break shield and then rock someone. So someone, or actually someone doesn't even shift actually. So someone, they just break shield, rock someone, bam. Needs lamp, great lamp from RuPaul. Needs shift as well. So then they flux, and there's nothing left. And there's also no follow-up on the Bob. I do not know how Kev dives. Kev is getting marked. I think Kev maybe ends. He tries, yeah, Kev goes in. Yeah, Kev just egos. He doesn't have deflect. Oh, he does have deflect. He just gets smoked. That's unfortunate. No, I'm only doing content right now. I do collegiate and some content coaching stuff on the side. But no. I helped a lot of contenders teams and a couple of players earlier when I moved into content, like in the transition. But at the moment, no, it's just basically just content and private coaching.
It's a slow burn, but ENCE are continuing to whittle away at this car progress.
And the more space they get, the dangerous it gets. The more dangerous it gets with the Sojourn with ult, right? They're actually just going to rotate into them. Yeah, they're just going to rotate into them. That's going to leave Tracer super isolated. Recalls used. She should die. She doesn't die, but they're still choked out. Can they kite it out? Kind of poorly played there by ENCE. That was your moment there, right? That Tracer needs to die, or at least you need to get more cart progress there. The beat is used. Vega runs. Can Vega live? No. They use the beat to close the distance, and that should be it. Oh. Yeah, that should be it. So they're able to close the distance versus the Brigitte comp. Shirley? Shirley? Hello? Oh, okay. Yeah, they got the trades that they needed. Ghost died there really, really early, and that screwed him up. Malga's terrible without good follow-up on team. Yeah, I mean, Malga is terrible without good follow-up from team if you're not trading with a tank that you can burn. Back window for space here, I think. Nice, Ghost. Nice, my brother. Well done. And then there's the Flux. It's a good Flux. They catch him just on the corner. He's not able to get healing. He doesn't have Sigma shield. That's one of the things that maybe Vestola could have done better there, is stack with his BAP to get fluxed as well so that he could shield for his Baptiste. Bit of a poke mirror detail, but it is an important one. Angle from the Tracer, Sugar-Free distracting, he's got pulse. Oh, I love this so much. I forgot about this. Bam. And now Vestola gets no support and dies. Rally's used to sustain. Kev dies. Yeah, but the spacing, like, Toronto's comp's so much better here. Like, this is where the Brig really shines because she's so much harder to run down on. So you're able to do so much more with your packs, with your Rally, pocketing your DPS, and then even having something like an Ashe where you lose to Sojourn if she has Rail, but like just more consistent damage. The lose here just feels super, super, super awkward on that point. But honestly, good push by ENCE.
Territory for ENCE to work around with, but look at this. Toronto Defiant, maybe pulling.
Sigma Lucio. Free rotations with Reinhardt. And a team that has the hero pool to run this. Sugar-Free May is fine. Merit good. Someone's Rein's fine.
Their best space station gaming look right now, as someone's going to be coming out on the Reinhardt.
Fake rotation top. Pulls them to top, allows for a rotation through left side. What's the mistake, guys? What's the mistake? How many of you guys have watched Brawl Mirrors with May? What's the mistake? So first off, credit to Kev. This is a perfect wall, especially considering he got baited to top. Like, this is an insane wall to be able to hit that after also getting baited to top. It's a good rotation from Toronto. They actually did it pretty cohesively, but there's a big problem. Yes, exactly. When you have a rotation like this, it is not optional. It is mandatory that you defensively wall the sightlines of the enemy May so you complete the rotations. It doesn't matter that you wasted wall. They can't push you in there to punish you for using it. You have to use wall to rotate through tough chokes. This is Sugar-Free. Sugar-Free needs to know this. That's a mistake. And so that forces lamp, that forces wall, that forces ice block, and now everybody's 1 HP. And so then, because nobody here has any cooldowns, this Sigma goes, okay, y'all, GG's, y'all are screwed, and actually pushes in. Look at that cleave. What's up, Rashi? And that's it. So I saw a lot of people like criticizing like Toronto Defiant's like team play or rotations, but I actually, if maybe we'll look at it again here. But my initial impression when I watched this for the first time was that it was actually the rotations were fine. Like they're good. They're good enough. Like they were certainly not perfect, but they were like more than good enough to make it work. And the comp wasn't even a bad idea. Like this comp can work, especially into what ENCE is running. And these guys can play those characters, right? They're good at those characters. Like Florida Mayhem was notoriously the team that was the only team that really gave us a lot of issues in the Brawl Mirror as London. And, you know, this is 3 out of the 5 Florida Mayhem. Vega is obviously good in Lucio. And we know Sugar Free has a lot of experience in May as well. They just give credit to ENCE as well. Like the ENCE they just did it.
Looking at Toronto, taking a different approach to things now. Don't want to go to the laundry. They're going to see where ENCE are coming from and actually just bamboozle and go underneath the car.
Again, those walls are just brutal. It's just the same mistake. Sugar Free is really not willing to use the wall to rotate, and what ends up happening is people get really spread. So basically, here's the rules with rotation. So a lot of you guys are probably like, aren't you the guy that's just like taking off angles and split? Aren't splits good? Okay. Here, you guys want a little sound bite for your teams when you guys are scrimming or your collegiate teams or whatever the frick that you guys do? Clump, rotation, fight, spread. Rotate, clump, fight, spread. You understand? So if you're rotating and from one location to another, but you don't want to fight there, then you need to clump. Shut up, PK. But if you're fighting, that's when you rotate and take angles. We don't want to fight here, so we don't want to take angles here. We want to rotate to the left and then take angles from there. I don't know what he's waiting for. He needs to use wall to rotate, especially because we've already seen wall. They're not going to speed up here and fight. They're too low in resources because the wall was too good. Everyone's used their shifts and they're low and the shield is breaking and we're missing HP. You need to use wall to rotate. Well, if you're playing versus Farah Junk, you're probably not rotating. You're probably taking angles immediately. Like you're going to go send your Mei Lucio on a super hard flank immediately. You're not going to try and rotate versus a high damage comp. Clumping just means that you use your mitigation to move from one point to the next point quickly. It gives your Rhine Shield better value, it gives your Mei Wall better value, your speed boost better value, your regenerative burst better value, and so on. And then once you get to the spot where you want to fight, then you start to spread and take map control. So the problem here is in general, Toronto seems unwilling to spend resources to rotate, and so they're getting screwed. Like, they have still not used Mei Wall. And so even though nobody's dead, everybody's got freaking low, everyone's been shoved into the locker. Like, look at this, they're still recovering. And RuPaul fails the rotation. I don't know why he fails the rotation. Did they hit wall here? I think he hesitates because of disruptor shot. Yeah, that's also a huge mistake from RuPaul. He just needed to bite the bullet and walk through the disruptor shot. So it's individual mistakes there. It's individual mistakes there. No, still no Mei Wall, by the way, until that point. And Merit only pops off here because my guy, where the frick did Merit go? Did they leave Merit behind? Yeah, I think they left Merit behind. Yeah, Merit just hard flanks. Wait, no he doesn't. Where does Merit go? He's on point? Did he just, like, walk? Like, there's no way. Okay, well, what? And now that they're actually fighting, the angle thing obviously matters a lot. Dude, you want to see something funny? Check this out. Check this out. Look at Kev. Look at Kev. He knows he's gonna get his Tootsie shot. He's literally gonna get his feet shot. So watch Kev. He goes, oh frick, he's gonna shoot my feet. Oh frick, he's gonna shoot my feet. And he jumps! He jumps! Because you can see Merritt looks down and he jumps. Ah, that's funny. And then someone lives on literally 1 HP. So Merritt flank pops off because ENCE was destroying the rotations and Sugar Free apparently forgot that wall was the thing. And RuPaul just does whatever. Alright. They're going to stay at Sigma because they're close to Flux, and you can still create enough distance here to make the Sigma work. He said, yeah, exactly. I don't know, Jet. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what the plan was here. I have no idea. I think both May players are just like, I don't know. I think that they're pushing here to try and use like an early BAP window or something. I don't get this wall at all. I don't know what maybe they're trying to force like an early ice block, but he's standing out in the open anyway. He just gets one shot. Yeah, they're going for an early BAP window. It's just really poorly timed. It's really poorly timed. Like we talk about oh my gosh. You talk about bad rotations from Toronto. This is a horrible rotation from ENCE. There's no shield there. Kevster's like 7 Ghost. Like it's not like bam bam, right? 6 shield BAP window ultimate. It's like May and then Sigma. And now introducing BAP window! Like 6 years later. It's like a awful rotation.
Man, Kevster got popped there. Yeah, you can see the game plan there was keep the corner, throw the blizzard out, and hopefully find some kills. But I mean, Merritt, he's the sheriff in this town. Kai popping the overclock, but he does not.
I don't get that overclock. I'm not gonna lie with you guys. You're really trying to not use ults in their spawn, especially when it's pretty much lost. I mean, it's a little bit unfortunate timing because he does get headshot right as he pushed it, but I'm not a fan. Merritt angle, Merritt flank, juicy pop.
For this next fight, Toronto taking the high ground away from ENCE, still unable to use the blizzard or the flux. Here comes the
Flux to take top. Does he hit anybody?
He's gonna get nobody.
Oh, wall is so good. Beats forced and then okay. This is where things get really weird. Okay, so watch this. Flux is used.
Another beautiful wall by Kevster, but now they're locked in here. Anybody? They stick on the doorway. Yes, it can.
So let's talk about this. I'm trying to think of like what's a good solution here for Toronto. I don't know if there is.
Anybody? They stick on the doorway. Yes, it can.
Yeah, this is a mistake from Sugar Free. Well, okay. Okay, let me break you guys down my logic instead of just like mumbling here. Basically, here's the thing. Flux into Blizzard is almost unstoppable. Anybody that doesn't have a defensive cooldown dies. Unstoppable. You get the 50%, which whittles down your beat HP, and then you're basically CC'd for like 5 seconds. It's unlivable unless you have like a Suzu or TP. Like if you're stuck in it, you're dead. It's no amount of healing can keep you alive. You're dead. So the problem here is that ENCE goes for the greedy combo of Flux Blizzard. But it feels like Toronto's surprised by the combo. They're not expecting the combo because Sugar Free goes, oh, Kev is punishable here. We can freeze this guy, force his ice block, and kill him. And Vega goes, oh, I could just beat the Flux. Problem is, it's Kev combos. So they use the combo, and yeah, exactly. Sugar Free comes out of ice block expecting to just throw the Blizzard, and he'll get the beat HP, and he's fine, right? But no, it's Blizzard. And Vega beats because, oh, it's just Flux, but no, it's Flux and Blizzard. And so Masa does have to use beat here, which isn't the end of the world. And then RuPaul tries to clutch it. But basically, this comes like one of those situations where it's like, it's not a bad play by Toronto. It's a little bit not the smartest, and they get crushed. Because... yeah, what happens if Masa's beat? Yeah, Masa... how does Masa get frozen? This is so bad for Masa. I don't know. I don't know what the plan. At least Toronto has the like. Masa beats like 2 seconds after the blizzard and still manages to get frozen. Bro, Masa, speed boost yourself out, bud. You could beat on the wall or beat up here or something. This is just really bad. But despite this, this is like some of the ugliest Overwatch you're ever gonna see. Because this is so bad for Toronto there, right? And basically both teams just throwing ultimates at each other. Bro, I'm so tired of hearing the age excuse, I'm not gonna lie. The guy is just not motivated. I get it. It's fine. There's no, dude, your reaction time goes down by like 6 milliseconds per decade. It's okay. He's just not that good anymore. Or maybe the level of play is scaled up. It's fine. He's done his job. He's not an old man. But yeah, disastrous fight really all the way through for Toronto. They will be able to get cart. They force a tracer out. Sugar Free's in trouble. Sugar Free's in trouble. He doesn't have recall. He doesn't have recall. He's already grabbed the mecha. He's still being chased. They're still chasing him. And they don't communicate and push top. They should have pushed top. Toronto should have pushed top there. Yes, exactly. Good Maywall. Good Maywall. Wait, where was the ice block there, brother? Where is the ice block there? Oh, he used it in the tracer thing. He needs to be careful here. This is a little bit... I like the Maywall, but I don't like the positioning there. I think he should have stayed in the door frame. Yeah, they overpushed that. They overpushed that. They overpushed that. They had a man advantage, and they just straight up walk into Ram Lucio with an annihilation. That was an uncharacteristically stupid play from ENCE in terms of team planning.
Give him a much better vantage point. They're also just going to be able to push them all back here.
Oh, good use of the shield there, Merritt. Should be okay. Oh, Vestola. Wait, how does Masa die? Is Masa touching? Yeah, Masa's touching. There's nothing Masa can do about that. Misses Flex. Kev kills RuPaul. Someone should be dead soon. Kev dies. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh, the shots. Holy cheeks. Yeah. Wow. What a recontest from ENCE. What a recontest from ENCE. Honestly, okay. Bit hindsighty there, but I don't know if I think they're expecting Flux in the recontest, so I guess I know why they pushed. But they probably didn't have to push. They probably didn't have to push here because you had all the off-angle set up on the choke, and they actually pushed through the choke. So I think it would have been better to just hold the corner and play aggressively on the corner, even with the ram there. No, the replay code is only on OPR. Wait, what happened here, chat? I forgot. Bap window top. Clear space, force cart. Now they're available to avoid the Sojourn ult from that angle, which I like. Not the best setup from the Sojourn there. Beat engage, beat matched. Comes out of the pulse bombs here. Ghost gets hindered, Ghost gets killed. And what happens with the lamp here? Where's Ghost's lamp?
And don't have the sound barrier up quite yet. Kai has the overclock that he can shit.
Does anyone see Ghost's lamp?
You have the sound barrier that Vegas held on to.
Now he's just going to dodge away from this overclock. Kai finding a nice couple of angles here, but is still scared to peek that window. Sound barrier coming through from
so we should have both burst and lamp. Let's try and watch for both. He just gets one shot. Yeah, he just gets one shot. I don't like his fall there. Does he get booped? Yeah, he kind of gets booped, but he tucks in the wrong way. And then where's RuPaul? Man, RuPaul gets melted. I don't know where RuPaul is. He's off screen. I think what ends up happening is they drop from high to go to cart. I don't like that decision. I would have liked to see maybe a BAP window here, and then instead have Merritt control the space here. But yeah, they ended up losing the high ground, and Kev just does so. Oh, Kai Kai takes the high ground, guys. Look, Kai is on the top left, and Kai is doing work up top.
Sugar-free chasing down Marsa. A nice little cherry on top with the stick too, but Vestola's arms were crisscrossed. He managed to survive that pulse bomb.
Yeah, okay.
There's not much in their sights now, but they haven't got a lot of time.
Someone has might be able to help to be fast this time bank. Nations need to also be swift.
So fast fight rotation here. They want to take 2 fights here. They do a quick flip the map. Really good vortex from someone. They use BAP window. Not the best sightlines. They need to clear top here. I think if you're in here, I think you need to rotate to click top. And I don't even know where Cassidy is. Yeah, BAP is still stuck here. They needed to rotate and clear top. They needed, if they're gonna use the BAP window here, they need to take space with the BAP window. Jeez.
Oh, the double tap onto Kevster is disgusting. That lamb is gonna save him.
It's all crosshair placement. You guys notice that? Look how steady his aim is. I want you guys to watch this. Like, it's all horizontal movement. Watch that. He lines his crosshair right at head height. And like from here on, it's all like horizontal motion. Checking the flank, nothing there. Like, look at how little vertical movement is used. You see what I'm saying? Like even here, right? It's right at head height. Bam. A lot of aim is like, I don't know. A lot of aim is like just crosshair placement.
Face with zero emotion. Blood running through his
right?
veins, as hot as anything.
It removes a dimension out of aiming, right?
But he knows the job isn't done just yet.
All right, last fight, y'all.
Just a little bit forward, but there's only one more fight that Toronto Defiant need.
So I remember this fight. I remember this fight because Albert, I was looking at this with Albert, and Albert had a really good point here because Vega tosses this fight. And here's the thing. Here's the thing. There's gonna be some layering. There's gonna be some layering here. You're gonna have like a high noon. It's gonna force a Sojourn, might force your Ram to block, and then maybe your Ram, maybe a BAP window, and then they're gonna respond with Annihilation. They're gonna respond with Beat. There's gonna be some back and forth and back and forth. And in these overtime fights, you just need somebody to be able to handle cart, and it's gonna be Ram. So the big thing here is Vega can't get caught in cart. So they're going to speed high noon. They don't quite get what they want, but they do get a little cart progress. Not the end of the world. Okay. Sojourn is used. Someone wants to use Annihilation, and this is the problem. I really, 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 really do not like this this setup from Toronto Defiant. Someone needs to be playing cart, and they need to force the beat engage off of cart, either on an angle on backline or at least let Vega leave cart. Doc, thank you for the sub, mate. I appreciate it. Vega cannot get his beat forced just because he's the guy on cart with the Sojourn life. So the funny thing is given the circumstances right now, Vega does need to beat. Watch. Vega's getting shot. Vega's getting annihilated. Vega has a tracer on him. If Vega doesn't beat there, with Kev here, Ram here, and Sojourn looking at cart, he might Ajax. Hey, chicken. The problem is why is Vega there? Why is Vega there? Why is someone walking forward with Annihilation here? I don't, if you're going to, it's you know what it is, Chad? Here's what it is. It's the same problem as Busan Sanctuary. When it looks like Toronto's calling to push with this high noon into Annihilation, but there's just, where's the pressure? If you're going to do this, Vega needs to go here, leave Sugar Free and cart, and it needs to be 1, 2, 3, 4, pincer from here, or 1, 2, 3 with a pincer from here. And so what happens is Toronto just kind of like throws ults one person at a time, but it's not supported. So either you play slow, or if you're going to tempo push, wait. Dude, this also happened on their second attack. That's why they failed their second attack too. I guarantee if you go back and look at their second attack, remember this push, guys? Remember this push? I think this is why this didn't work too. Yes. Look. Why are you on cart, Sugar Free? Why are you on cart? You need to be here. Pincer, we're going to go 3, 2, 1, bam, bam. Why do we have 2 people on cart? So when they actually pull the trigger, Sugar Free comes from main and is very, very late. And so it fails. It's the same thing we saw with the Busan Sanctuary Nano Cassidy. So the push plays with Toronto, the 3-2-1 run it down mid plays, take an angle in, are really, really poorly set up. There's a major problem with both timing and setting up these pushes. And so crap happens. This time, it's Vega. I actually don't even, now that I'm looking at this, I actually don't even think it's Vega's fault. I actually take it back. I actually don't think it's Vega's fault. Because Ram, someone is the one that pops Annihilation here, and he's stamming on the choke. He's not on cart. Vega has to play cart here. I mean, maybe he doesn't have to play cart, but like, there's more wiggle room here, I guess, for making this decision. So beats Forest, and there's nobody to go on except Vestola, who's in Annihilation doing this. They can't even reach the Sojourn. She's still spamming the beat. And then now, Masa beats in, and it's over. Now they can actually push. So it's just the planning side of things for Toronto is just really not clean, especially in these push setups. It's just not clean. ENCE has just been consistently, maybe not significantly better, but more often than not, being able to be just a little bit better. And you know, I mean, like relying off of merit to just click heads just hasn't been good enough, right? Like there's a couple of fights that are literally just handed over because merit is an insane hit scan. And then a lot of these messy push-pull ult fights, like let's put it this way. Toronto is not winning with the power of teamwork and friendship. They're not even really competing. I feel like ENCE has been kicking them in the teeth. I think ENCE has been noticeably better when it comes to the planning, push-pull, setting up your pushes, setting up your disengage, and not just in the brawl mirror, like even on Busan, like marking, controlling angles. It's basically been Toronto's winning through mechanics, and when they're not winning through mechanics, they're losing. At least this match. And that's concerning. Because this is the weaker backline. Like, this is the weaker backline. This is the less flexible tank line. Merit's better. Merit's just Kai, but better in every way. Kev has obviously played well. Had a bad agreement who was playing objective. I mean, it just didn't look like they had a plan there, man. Like they planned to speed high noon, and then that was it. At least that from a eye check, right? There was the plan to speed high noon, and then there was nothing after that, and that's just not good enough. Like that, not at this level, not in that messy of a fight. Like we need to be like, can we just commit? Can we just push? Can we just push? That would have been fine. Playing slow and point and beating point would have been fine. There's like so many ways that you could approach that fight differently. And I just don't think it was done well. And I want to give credit as well. Like, you know, I think like the easy thing to say here is that like, oh, you know, like the easy narrative is that like, oh, you know, backline, you know, ENCE comes into this backline with a major backline disadvantage. But I think like the backline, I mean, I've not been looking at this and been like, oh yeah, major backline diff here. Like, it's been fine. I mean, Masa's been okay. Vega's been okay. I think Ghost, all things considered, has done really well, you know? Like, our expectations for players like RuPaul and teams like Toronto just needs to be higher, right? They've just had more experience and they've been in these type of games for a lot longer. And so, all things considered, Ghost has done fine. It's been good enough. Even Masa's done fine, right? So, I think if I'm looking at this, if I'm Toronto, I'm really looking at some of these ult fights where it really should not have happened the way that it did. It really should not have happened the way that it did. And you're questioning why that happened. Like, why were those rotations on Ryan? So why was Sugar Free not using Maywall? It's just like things like that. Like, you just got to use it. Yeah, Ghost to 17 is like good for him, mate. Like, good for him. Needs a better tank. I mean, someone's a great tank. Someone's just like, I don't know. Like, I mean, part of it is because I don't know. I got nothing for you. I will say this as well. This is an unusual map choice. I don't know what the scrim meta with push was at this point in time. But if you're going to go for, like, forcing dive, generally the choice is Esperanza. You think Malga weakest tank? You might be right, yeah. I mean, he's not looked great in Malga so far. But, so it is odd that they chose this map. Again, there must be some sort of scrim box going on in here. Because honestly, if I look at this here, immediately I like ENCE's chances better. This is a pretty good Sigma map. You know you're going to be able to force Brawl Mirror like 100%. You can even run Kev Tracer later on. It's odd. It's odd. But yeah. I think this is where, like, you just honestly have to trust, like, Kosaurus. Because Kosaurus has more insight as to, like, what was going on behind the scenes. Because, like, remember, behind the scenes stuff affects the way that you play in the moment. And you make decisions that you might otherwise not make. So let's try and not, like, guess too much. I will... Because even, like, the Vega thing, like, the beat there, I think it was interesting for me. Because initially I was like, bro, why is Vega on cart? But now that I'm looking at it, it might have been a planning stage confusion. Let me put Vega on cart. Because someone wasn't on cart. Like, the guy, someone wasn't on cart. And I thought that he was, and it turns out he wasn't. No Esperanza? Yeah. I don't know. That one is confusing. Maybe Esperanza is not good enough versus the Malga. Maybe, like, that's the takeaway, is that teams should try the dive. But honestly, man, I feel like, I don't know. Yeah. Okay. So I really like this in terms of, like, you got to feel confident if you're ENCE here, because this is Toronto's map pick, and you're like, bro, there's like a 50%, 40%, 45% chance that we can win this one. This is not a bad map for us. And if we lose this, we can go to our flashpoint of choice, which even flashpoint is not that great, right? Like, we can go whatever our best flashpoint is and just do the whole, like, Sigma stuff, right? Yeah. All right.
Toronto again, kind of picking the Malga to try and counteract.
Now, I will say, if I remember this correctly, I like the way Toronto played this first fight. They did what M80 didn't, which was close the distance safely and get an angle for their Genji. I think Sugarfree did a much better job on the Genji. They did a much better job setting up Sugarfree, maybe. Yeah, so they're trying to, yeah, do you see the May wall there? Try to deny the initial engage. They actually used it before, like, check this out. They actually used the May wall right as the push. What do they force here? Oh, deflect, Lucio, amp. And then Suzu. I mean, that's a good May wall. If you use May wall and you get deflect, Suzu, and amp, I mean, that really does, and it, like that kills the push right there. That's a bit of a mistimed push for there from Toronto. I'm sorry, man. That's just absurd. It's actually funny because I remember this first fight being pretty good from Toronto, but actually in hindsight, it's actually just Merritt clicked heads and Vestola made a mistake. Toronto did not execute this first fight well. They actually got their tempo totally screwed up. They messed up their timing. Sugarfree and someone were not on the same page, so the wall gets a lot of value and really kind of kills the push. And if Vestola doesn't screw this up, because he had cooldowns here, he had shield and shift, he just messes up, and Merritt clicks heads. If he lives here, I think Toronto loses this fight. So even in hindsight here, the team plays off. Like there's that Toronto, Merritt literally hands them this fight win on a silver platter.
His aim is crispy clean. Even on a bad day, he looks too good. Switching over to the Genji now.
I mean, maybe CMT. Maybe a CMT. Again, we've also seen that the Malga can work versus the Sigma when it's executed well. That was great. Poor Kev. Ooh. He's calling it. Wait. There's rock. Wait. There's a deflect. Yeah. See, look at what ENCE is doing. So they don't want to give them a free slam. So look at this off angle setup here. From who is this? Yeah, look at the Kai, right? Kai forces deflect, and merit. And so someone's like, yo, let's push, but they can't. They can't. They've killed the push.
I mean, look, they ripped this up.
Kitsune rush.
Yeah, 10.
Very quickly, but not before RuPaul might have this Kitsune rush.
Yeah, 10.
I think if that was the play, Sugar Free should have probably been leaning towards this side instead of peeking this way and opening himself up to the angle. Defiant just needs to avoid peeking the angle, frankly. Like, you would need to, like, play your casting maybe a little bit further back, like this corner here or this corner here, and then have your Lucio Genji kind of stack underneath with your Malga, and then maybe your Lucio can speed your Malga in, and then your Genji comes up over the edge. Or you just play to push card and just try to hide from the high ground, period. No, Malga's not hard meta. Malga's not even hard meta at this level, and they're using it like the team play stuff. Oh no. So Cardiac is forced. Kev gets really low. RuPaul, what does RuPaul do? Where is RuPaul? Does he TP? No, he just ints in. Again, it's the timing, guys. It's the timing. Like, RuPaul is literally on an island. Do you guys remember this in the mecha base thing? Look at guys, look at RuPaul. Look at him. What? Look at him. Look at him. And look at the rest of his team. I don't care if you got Suzu and Kitsune Rush. What is going on?
How much fighting they've been doing, how much damage they've been doing too, but it's actually Kai that settles the score with RuPaul there with a railgun shot to the left.
It's just the team play, man. It's just not there. You know, like they don't get the setup on the initial cardiac engage, so they get their cardiac force defensively. It's a nice off angle by Kai. Kevster baits a lot of attention, ends up getting out and living, and it's just so messy. You know, it's just like so messy.
And a window, just a nice little victory firework there for ENCE. That rush pulled by RuPaul. I mean, that's exactly what you want to do, right?
So it's like, you know, this has to be something about communication.
That is going to be the danger of Toronto Defiant picking this map.
Yes, chicken. It doesn't matter. I don't know. The answer is yes. The answer is team diff. The answer is team diff. That's it. It's not RuPaul's fault. It's not someone's fault. It's not anybody's fault. It's everybody's fault. I don't know.
You've just gifted over.
There was a window to push there. They were not on the same page. It was actually your fault. Thank you for taking one for the team. Like, even this was kind of weird. Like, do you guys understand my childish hieroglyphics? Hello, Bazo. How's the legend? Like, where's the slam? Where's the slam? There's no Maywall. Sugar Free needs cardiac right now, and he needs a slam. This was what was destroying SSG. No, I don't think you force slam here. I don't think you force beat. You're not playing to force beat and kite. What you're doing is you're playing to force beat and then layer your beat on top of it and win anyway. Heck, you're not even that scared of beat and response because you have freaking cardiac on your blade, so your Genji has a full heal every single time he chops his blade. So you don't even need to. Vega's not even that concerned about beating. Probably will beat, but just for gravy. So this is like, where's the follow-up? What's going on? It's a good blade. But it's like remarkably fortunate that it even gets what it does. And it's actually messy still. Main problem is coordination, communication. I mean, it looks like it. It looks like it, at least from here, right? But it's also a little bit hindsighty to say that's always the problem because we have known Toronto to have a pretty good dive. Like, definitely a pretty well-coordinated dive, you know? So some, you know, were they, like, are they always perfect? I don't know. I'm not a Toronto student. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what they look like in scrims all the time, but they're pretty good. Oh, man. Yeah, I don't know. And such a messy fight. Bazo, who is the Who's the third? CJ? Is it CJ? I know UV and Landon, obviously, but is it CJ? I mean, I disagree, but I am curious. I am curious who would be in your top 4. Cal? Ah, okay. I mean, Cal's good. Grumpy Monk, thank you for the sub.
I just came back to Overwatch after a long break.
Yeah,
and saw
yeah.
Mastering
Elon Master
the
was a great
62
idea, just didn't quite get it together. So, yeah. I saw the writing on the wall, ended up leaving, and then they ended up calling it not too long afterward. Okay, so yeah, they're just gonna Sojourn ult, I think, to force the issue here. Hopefully that forces like either cage fight or beat, and then you layer your ultimates on top of that, and then you layer your ultimates on top of that. They just need something to happen here, and Sojourn ult's the best engage ult out of the 3 they have. Deflect, run is used. I would like to see Kai. Ooh, cardiac and high noon is used. That's pretty good. We'll take that. So then now you can actually look for a blade. Or really, they just get someone low. Just focus someone. Yeah, there's the blade. They cage fight him, but they beat him inside the cage fight. Really nice play from Kev there. Because he's not going to be able to reach anybody, but I think he sees Sugar Free without deflect. They just forces him down. So... There's something like a little micro about the lamp there that I would love to look at. I think it's more to do with your own cage fight, but yeah. It's good, it's really good layering there from ENCE. You know, you use your Sojourn ult to force high noon and cardiac, which then gives you an advantage in the neutral, which then forces cooldowns, which then allows you to blade easily, and then the blade forces cage eye, which forces your beat, but just forces their beat, but your blade is still active during their beat, and they don't have to flex. You can just finish the kill. It's like, you know, one forces the other, forces the other, forces the other, forces the other, and you win. So, well played by ENCE. And this is the kind of stuff that ENCE is winning. This is the kind of stuff that ENCE is winning. And this is why I think they won the series. Not just because, oh, comfort comp and they're playing well the cures. I think that is true as well. But they just get the layering, right? Like whenever there's these big ult fights, it's like ENCE wins those like 65% of the time, and that adds up, you know. Shut up, Ids. Did Ice-T tell you to come in here and say something? I guarantee you he did. I guarantee you did. I know none of you guys would do it of your own goodwill. He held you at gunpoint, didn't he?
That's what I was thinking. It's like even
I'm not coming to Pugs. I have to finish this map. Maybe after I finish this map.
maybe even a check.
Okay, so a very aggressive poke hold here from ENCE. I really like it. They're worried about Kitsune, but if they can force like deflect and like cardiac and they can kind of split this, they might be able to kite this out, but they need to make this crossing painful. There's the slam. He gets the slam this time. They get the Kitsune, and they get the boot. Nice.
I won't
That's what
be
we're
there
missing.
to throw your games.
Why do you think I'm going to be there? Nice push there. Nice push there from Toronto. It was actually like well timed and well set up. They just need to be careful about pushing a little bit too far because they're like a little bit. Okay. So here's what we got. Here's what we got. Do you guys see the problem here? Push. But you're only up 1, and Vega's on cart. So this is a 4v4. Let's not forget. This is a 4v4. It's not a 5v4. And it's not even a well-timed 4v4 because we don't have cardiac anymore, and the backline's not there yet. Ah! Ah! No! Toronto! Hank! Again, the idea of what you're doing there, you could even take the 4v4 there if you synchronize the push from the flank and someone, and they didn't synchronize the push. They did do it. Oh my gosh, man. Frick! Does he get Ghost? I thought he was gonna slam Ghost there. I was scared for Ghost, man. If he could play Bap into Malga's like absolute misery. Did they get butt scratch? They didn't get cap, no. Okay, so let's talk about this. This is a really messy fight. So they actually, They actually synchronize the push here pretty well. So we got to commit here, 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 and I think we got a Cassidy back here. Yeah, so it's all right. They're going to open with a Slam Blade. They're going to try and catch it with Flux. They catch the Malga, which pulls the Cardiac away from the Blade. He doesn't have Deflect. Ghost BAP windows himself, and they get the kill. Pretty reasonable. Maybe Ghost could have chosen a rotation sooner. Like, I would have probably preferred Ghost to either drop out this way, and just, because, like, you have to understand, like, when you're playing BAP, you are #1 target, always. So you just need to play more your life and expect good teams to attack you from multiple angles. I don't think Ghost expected this, right? So Ghost is like, frick, man, right? You need to always, like, okay, somebody needs the message Ghost. The best skill you could have as Baptiste into these comps is never be surprised, ever. Never be surprised by any flank, by any push, ever. It's something that we worked on with Landon over and over and over again in a very similar compositional situation with Landon. And it's like, never be surprised. Always, if you give yourself the information that somebody's here and somebody's here, you'll practice making those decisions over and over and over and over. Oh, my bad. So yeah, so it's actually a fairly well set up play by Toronto. They should be able to win off of that. It's going to be messy. Oh, Kev trades it. I think the only thing I will say is that someone maybe goes on the wrong target here. Like, I think he needed to see ironically here, so like Ghost screws up scouting on someone, but it also looks like someone screws up scouting on Ghost, because if he and Genji were in this together, they could get Suzu'd and Cardiac and they'd be fine, but they just miss Ghost. So Ghost doesn't die fast enough, and then someone's kind of out of position to actually help the rest of the team fight here. And so neither someone nor Sugar Free get the support that they deserve. Team Yippee. And then Kev just cleans the fight up. Kev is really good in these devolve fights, like holding his angle and trading. Very, very cerebral Genji, right? So they get cap, they get more than cap, and they go from there.
They have this checkpoint means that they do have these forward spawns for now.
Oh, yeah, you might be right. They might have been expecting Masa beat. That's true. Good point. No, we'll talk. I talked about the Sigma at the start of the review. Basically, the Sigma just denies Malga healing, and also Vestola on Sigma, so. And now ENCE could really just park. They really don't need to do anything. They don't have an ult advantage. They have a push advantage. Oh.
Sound barrier up as well as another cage. But tussling over the point again, maybe Kai can open things up.
Oh man, this is just such bad execution of the plan. So first off, if you're gonna, like, I actually think Toronto needs to, I think they need to set up a fight plan here. I actually think they need to push here because they can't park it. Malga just bleeds HP if he's parked. And there is a world where you could get a kill on Ghost or Masa here if you like set up a Genji angle, right? And then like just get in, right? The problem is that they stand here. And then Kai pops Sojourn and forces a response. Which is beat. The problem is they're so freaking far away. They're so far away. Ghost is nowhere accessible at all. And you just beat so far away. So you don't get any value out of the beat. And then Masa pops beat once you're on top, and now you're stuck. This is just another, like, let me give you guys two different fight plans here. Let me give you two different fight plans here. Fight plan number one, the casual basic one. Don't do anything. Park cart with your Genji, Malga, whatever, and farm Kitsune. Use Kitsune to force an action and or take space, and then make your action from there. That's one. The other play is you have your Malga set up here. You have your Genji use this wall here. Genji commits from this angle here. Kiriko can either mark here or take the angle. Probably just mark here. And then set up an actual beat engage that's set up, right? If they pop Sojourn ult early, just hide and wait it out. Make them push into you, then beat engage and push on top of them. So you either actually set up a push, which if you guys have been paying attention, is something that Toronto hasn't done this freaking entire series almost. Or you AFK, or you kite out the ultimate. Instead, Toronto whips out 2 ultimates in the worst distance possible, tries to salvage it. They don't even have run in time. They pop cardiac, beat, high noon, and then run after the fight's already lost. And Muscle's like, okay, we beat now, and they're screwed. It's over. Everything falls apart in these ult trades fights. Everything falls apart. It's not easy to do. Let's be very clear. Oh, Ghost gets a little cheeky, and then Ghost gets booped out of his lamp. So that's a big mistake from Ghost. I'm sure he's kicking himself for that one, but like someone should still die. It's just such these ult fights are so inferior to what ENCE has. ENCE always, almost without exception, at least goes neutral with these ult trades. Going all of this entire series, it feels like. And I don't know who's at fault here. I don't know who should we compliment from ENCE for bringing this level of nuance in. Toronto should use Kitsune here. There's the Genji angle. I really like this from Sugar Free. And then they're getting ready to push with Kitsune or maybe cage fight. Man, RuPaul, I really don't like RuPaul's Kitsunes. I know they're scared of getting kited out, but I would honestly prefer like to set it up with like someone pushing in with Genji, like go for your cardiac slam and then Kitsune off their butt cheeks. Because I swear, every second time RuPaul Kitsunes, my cheeks clench. I swear. Every single time. And frankly, that's RuPaul's fault. This has happened enough times where like, okay, at some point we have to start pointing a little bit of fingers. It's the exact same thing. Oh, do you remember when it happened on Busan Mecha Base? Where he felt like he was gonna die, he should have died, and then he ended up using Suzu anyway. And now they've used 2 ults. So even if ENCE loses this, they can make this messy. That should have been a 1 ult fight win. Not good. And so now ENCE walks in this fight and is like, okay, well, we're going to blade anything that even looks at us the wrong way. Clear the Sojourn off of top. Oh my gosh. So I actually want to compliment Toronto on the attempt here. This is kind of what you need to do. Where you're like, okay, we're probably going to lose this fight. Let's set up an off-angle, like scam, somebody in cart. I actually like the play here. I'm going to compliment ENCE here. I've been beating on Toronto for a while. I'm going to compliment ENCE here. They were ready for this. Sure it's not the thong you were wearing? I'm not answering any questions. I want to compliment Ghost or whoever else was ready for this because they were ready for this. Because that one was actually set up and logical. You didn't have any ults, so you had to roll the dice, do something aggressive, and it did make things messy. That one was a good one from Toronto, and a good response by ENCE. The only mistake there is I think just obviously Kev gets picked. Jeez. So it's just spawn disadvantage. But like, you're not too mad about that if you're Toronto. I mean, it's rough. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, but you're not too mad about it. Again, you need to set up a beat engage, bait an ultimate, get kited out, or farm Kitsune. I actually don't remember what happens here.
Force out the beat. The one to finish him up.
And I don't think you use anything. I think you just respond to whatever they throw at you. I think that you have like enough poke here. I think it's really hard for them to push robot. I think you just yeah, see, you see what Kev is doing? Do you see what Kev is doing? Do you see what freaking Kevster is doing? I freaking love this guy. Just give him a kiss on the forehead. He knows that they're going to try to beat engage. He knows it. So the only way this beat engage works is if Sugar Free is able to get here, or right where Kev is, and then dash on the back line. But he can't. Because Kev is sitting right there. Says, come on, go on, try and stage. So he forces dash just to get near ENCE. So then there's the beat, there's the cardiac, and ENCE just beep, beep, backs out. And there's nobody there. I just don't like the setup there from Toronto. I just really don't. I think that it's well, again, give credit to Kev for marking the angle. No, I don't have, but man, that's rough. And again, like, okay, fine. Blade for Kitsune is not a terrible trade or great trade, but it's like, okay, now we control the space. Again, everything feels so in control. Like everything feels so in control right now.
They know that means going to a map number 5 and ENCE have the opportunity to win it out here and now. They want to get this Riveted Flux online, but someone...
I think here someone just has to play slow for cage fight. I think that's probably the smartest play. Bam, cage fight. Punish. Oh no. Cav is just... Where is Merit? I don't know if there was a boop there from Vega, but that seems like a bit of anti-synergy. That slam needed to land on Ghost. They needed to land on somebody. He didn't hit anybody with his slam. Good BAP window. Great catching Flux. It's just an unwinnable fight because at that point they just had the spike. Also, an underrated kill on Merit that have seems to happen off screen. And Vestola is saying, don't push. Do not push the robot. Do not push the robot. Who's going to touch? He's saying, who's going to touch? Look for Lucio. Lucio. Yeah, I mean, Vestola is so happy. Dude, ENCE deserves it, man. ENCE deserves it. I think the biggest question mark for Toronto was someone just not on comfort characters, some individual errors across the roster. But man, it just felt like the ult fights and the strategy, push, pull, macro coordination, they just always, not always, but like literally 70% of the time went ENCE's way. Yes, I do, Grumpy Monk. Exclamation mark coaching. Deserved. I think as much as we can beat on for Toronto for not playing well, I really feel like ENCE played this one well. I think they should be proud of their performance. This was not, oh, Toronto fumbled and fell flat in their face too much. ENCE played well. I think ENCE did about as well as you could possibly hope for. I don't think it was reasonable for them to, I don't think it was... They were definitely not the favorites versus SSG, at least in my book. And beating Toronto is like just a phenomenal upset there. So. Someone could play a lot of things. It just so happens that I think Malga's probably not one of his best ones. I think 50-50 socks. I think I have higher expectations for Toronto's tank play and support play, I think. Or flex support play, RuPaul. I think RuPaul and someone could kind of had mid games, and I think that I had overall higher expectations for their like team play. I think like overall this season, I think we've seen higher levels of team play from them for sure, and I think that was what really screwed them over. Do you think ENCE could have gone further if they've had Chase? No, I don't think it would have mattered that much. What's your opinion on Ghost? I think Ghost did fine. Ghost performed on par or better than expected, which is the best compliment that I can give. You're still a developing player. You got a lot to learn. You did fine, mate. What separates Korean teams from the rest? Everything. Everything. Mechanically, often better, often more flexible, often have a better understanding of compositions a little bit sooner. Western teams often just are, at least the EU teams, were quick to settle on strengths and then play intelligently from those strengths. But the top Korean teams were able to match them, in my opinion, in terms of their macro execution, as well as being mechanically better. I think Korean teams and Korean players are often overrated, because they are always better, almost without exception. They're just better. So, at some point we just like there's a certain Why are the Koreans so good? Cultural. Overwatch is a game that can more comfortably grind, and development of the talent. Like, the reason why Koreans are better now is because scrimmage quality is a lot lower in NA. And scrimmage quality is a lot lower in NA because player quality is a lot lower in NA. And player quality in NA is a lot lower because players don't play in NA, and players don't play in NA in the West anymore because it's been a lot harder to be financially viable. It's been a lot harder to and we can butterfly effect it to 1,000 steps. Same thing applies to EU. Why they forced the Malga then? I don't know. I do think that there could have been some choices where like Winston could have worked better, for sure. I don't think the Malga was bad. I just don't think. To me, it's not even like, oh, the Malga was bad. It's like, if that's how your team play looks, regardless of the comp that you're on, then you're going to struggle. Koreans do not dominate all pro esports. I don't think they dominate a lot of the RTS. I don't think that they dominate CSGO. They don't even come close. I'm not as familiar with other esports, but the ones that I know of, I think Overwatch is the only one that I know of where Korean. I don't follow a lot, but yeah. Yeah, so a lot of the difference between like the teams, like culture, is like it's cultural. It's not like Korean players are magically different, Tiger Mama, like whatever. It just, a lot of lucky things happen. That's it. Yeah, so good match. Good match.